Alrighty, guys, welcome back to this week's budget review. So it's the end of January, we're going into February, so we got a lot to cover. I'm hoping that I can get through this in a decent amount of time here. So, again, for those of you who are new, I picked the Hemlock and Oak 2025 weekly planner for my budget planner this year. We were doing the daily planner, but I just figured I needed something a little bit more slim and a little bit more easier to manage while I go through the budget journey, you know? And I mean, so far this has been wonderful. I'm loving the change here. So again, haven't had I really have not had time to do the self-reflection, guys. I will get to it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be like mid-July when we finally get it. But I mean, the good news is that I have used this planner as my personal planner before in previous years, and so like I've already done this, guys. I've done this like 3 times. So I am curious to see what it looks like from a budget finance perspective, but again, guys, I'm rolling with the days here. Got to keep going. So, they give you this great goal section, and I mean, I do love the goal section pages. These are wonderful. And for the first goal for this year, I want to try to work on keeping all of my store cards at a balance of 0, or just where it's manageable to where I can actually pay it off. With being an emotional spender, there are times of where, like, if you're feeling down, you'll go and buy like a bunch of stuff, and of course you try to tell yourself like, yeah, I could pay that off, and it's like, no, you can't. um there's other times of where you're feeling great, like everything's upbeat, everything's looking good, and again you go on like this crazy spending binge. And it seems to be, at least for me, it seems to be with the store cards. So that's why I wanted to start this year off by saying, like, look, this is what you got on these accounts. um I mean, the main reason with it is that if I am trying to pay off the main credit cards, just having balances on the store accounts, it takes funds away that could be used to pay down those other debts. And the interest rates are ridiculous. So, I mean, I do love the special offers. Especially Kohl's. Like, Kohl's has one of the best turnarounds for me. I've gotten so many free items with the Kohl's cash rewards. So I'm not downplaying any of the cards. It's just to use them correctly. Like, if you are going to charge something, like, make sure you can pay the thing off in those 30 days so that you don't get charged the interest. It defeats the point, the point of getting the points. So, I would like to say for January, I think I made some pretty decent progress on this one. We did get the coals and the scrubber and all of his accessories. All of that's covered. The little mini dumpster from Walmart, he's covered. Uh, I'm halfway through the cabinet. That's definitely getting paid in February. And of course, these all have had payments made onto them too, but still not paid off. Almost there, guys. I have not added any new habits. Again, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with these because each of the monthly areas has its own habit. So, I don't know. I still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to add to these, but I'm pretty sure when it does come to my mind, I mean, it's really super easy to add them in here, so I'm sure something's gonna come up. It always does. With me, it does. The daily framework page, okay? This was new for me this year. This is the first time I'm actually using the weekly planner for the budget system. So it was really it was different filling this page out from a budget perspective. And another thing that I learned from this is, um, like a lot of the times our budget planners are literally focused just on finances, money in, money out, savings, that type of stuff. And what this did, I think, just because I'm blending the two, is it made me realize that budgeting is more about it's more than just money. Um, it's I think we get lost in that, and basically the things that I want in life that make life enjoyable. Where you want to wake up every day and just be like, hey, I want to go do cool things. Um, that's it's focused around money. I mean, I hate to say it because money's pretty evil, but it's if you want to do fun things, you need money. So kind of what I do with this page is it's kind of like that little reminder of like if I'm gonna go to the store and I want to have like $100 crazy clothing buy bin, like just where like I just need to buy like $100 worth of new clothes because for some reason I think that that's gonna make me happy that day. What I can do with this page is I can say, hey, do you want $100 for clothes that you know that you're probably not gonna wear? I mean, let's face it, I'm one of those people. I buy stuff, it hangs in my closet, it still has tags. Um, I don't know why I do it, guys. It's just, we're reducing it. But what I can do now is, since I have this lovely page, and it's pretty much seared into my brain at this point in time from staring at it so long, I can go back and say, do you really need to spend $100 on, we're just going to say clothes at this point in time, or do I want that $100 for a family trip, holiday things, going out and to eat with my son. Maybe I want to get Bert something, it really does make me question, like, do I need to spend the money on that? Is it worth it? Does it really help me with this? And no, because we don't see that I am not a fashionable person. Now, maybe you are. Okay, maybe that is something that is part of your identity. So then, yeah, by all means, if that is something that brings you great joy and, just get you going for the day, then yes, by all means. But, I am not. I am just. It's probably from working with men, but t-shirts, jeans, sneakers. I mean, that's it. That's as far as I go. And some days it's like, wow, we're wearing that navy blue shirt instead of the black shirt. Like that's as far as fashion goes for me. So yeah, me spending money on clothes is like ridiculous. It's not gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that rant, guys, but no, so okay, so they do the daily framework, and it gets you to start thinking about, like, how do you want to start each day. And for me, that's my reflection time. That's the quiet time. I get everything out of my brain. Of course, we could see that's where I'm the most energetic, and of course, getting ready for work, and then it just goes downhill after that. Um, the barriers that you're going to get throughout the day, and that's really like when Ray starts to wake up. That means quiet reflection time's done, so I gotta get that done before he comes out and starts making his man bear noises. um what do we got? I'm a procrastinator. So I gotta battle that lack of energy, mentally and physically, that normally comes right before work, and of course after work. For some reason, while I'm at work, that's where I get like all my great ideas of where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this, and I think it's just because I'm trying to mentally get away from work. So I gotta write all those things down, and then, that's whenever, because I can't work on it whenever I get home from work. I mean, it's like 3 in the morning, guys, so I'm not doing nothing. But what I do is I write everything down that comes to my mind there, and then that way, whenever I wake up, I'm like, yeah, let's go do those things. Um, that's just how I'm wired. uh, and of course, making sure that I relax at the end of each day so I can get the proper sleep. This wonderful little self-care activities area. Um, Something that I've never really actually thought about. I have made, like my fun self-care, like if I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that type of thing. I have made those type of lists, but I've never actually realized that, these things don't cost anything until I put them in the budget planner. So, yeah, guys, the things that make me happy, the things that bring me joy and comfort, they're free. So, that was kind of cool. I mean, that's one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about, setting up this weekly planner here. So, again, to try to keep up with the chapters, to make that easy, and, to give my voice a break so that I don't start, like, coughing and hacking here. I try not to do that, but my voice, really doesn't like to talk. So I'm gonna take a quick break, and then that's gonna let us get into the whole, I believe we're going into the yearly, section of the planner. Alrighty, so first break is done, and I really do appreciate those breaks, guys. They do really help with my voice. Because some of these can be quite long here. Um, what Hemlock Note does is they give you these beautiful 2 years at a glance page. What I like to do with these is I use these as my projected payoff. Um, Payoff plans, payoff overviews. Um, so let me try to think of how to explain this page, guys. You think I could do this after explaining this like every week? But what I do is originally I was using the Debt Payoff Planner app. I should have that linked in the description. It's free. There's a website version and the app version. Basically, you take all of your accounts, all the monies that you owe. I'm assuming you're on a debt payoff planner or debt payoff journey as well if you found my video. So what I do is I take these accounts, I plug in all the information. It allows you to do the interest, all that fun stuff that we don't like to think about, but it's necessary to realize like how long this is going to take. And what you do, you just enter in your information. It gives you different payoff plans. It'll show you, like, if you want to do the snowball method, if you want to do the avalanche method, you could even have a custom method. You can throw in that you want to do, like, an extra payment, like if you want to do $50 more each month, $200 more each month, but it'll just generate a full payoff plan for you. That's what I've been using for like the last 5 years. I was doing the snowball method, which is quite effective. And again, guys, oh, my voice. So what I wanted to do this year is I wanted to have the projections to be like the slowest rate possible. I do use the snowball method still, but at the same time, I just wanted to see if I gave the bare minimum payment, which is the actual minimum payment for the month, and then the $50 that I do extra every Sunday. I just wanted to see how long would it take. So this is not the snowball method calculations. This is just if I'm doing the minimum for each month and a $50 every Sunday, how long is it going to take these accounts? It's not the snowball method just because like the 50 extra that I would have been given to perks is not moved on to the next account, which we could see is PSECU. Which of course, that extra $50 uh, would make this go down faster. It doesn't sound like that much, but then I would have 50. This would be an extra 100 each month, so now I got 150 extra going on the city once these two are covered. These payments right here don't reflect that extra amount. So this is my way of saying, like, if it's just the bare minimum of what I'm doing there, how long's it going to take? Because maybe I want that $150. Maybe I want to start putting that into savings instead of towards the debts. So to me, this one gives me more options, but it's actually like a little scary because you start to see like how long it can take to start paying these things off. So in a weird way, it does kind of motivate me to pay it off a little bit faster. By using that, it's telling me that it's going to take me up to April to pay off the perks account. I really thought that I could get that thing paid off in January, guys, which technically I could have. But again, we're going back to the store accounts because we could see, like, I paid about, a little over 400, about 450 on these. So that was $450 that could have went to this account, which he would have been paid off. So again, that's why I'm trying to tell myself, like, just stop with the store cards, man. Just stop. We gotta stop. But see, now I can visually see how it impacts. I guess I'm a visual learner. That's why, we have all these like little charts and stuff in here. Numbers never really did anything for me. Okay, so the year at a glance thing, that's how we got here, guys. That's how this problem started. So yeah, no, the year at a glance is where I keep like all the important stuff. These are things that happen once a year, but it again just gives me a visualization of like how close they are to coming up. If there's a cluster of them, as we can see, October, November, December is some really fun times here. The other thing that I added on here, which is new for this week, is I decided that even with the store accounts, if I get those things paid off and it's like no longer having to juggle around in my mind, I'm marking them on the calendar. So for me, it was more because of course I didn't get the focus account, which is the perks account, paid off. This would have been blank. So, like, if you're just looking at it, you would have been like, oh, yeah, ooh, you didn't do crap for January. Which I did. I paid off. I got the mini dumpster paid off, and I got the carpet scrubber paid off. So I did get things paid off for January. It's just not the focus account, which for the last couple of years, it was only the focus account. Did you get that account paid off? No. So then it was a big X, and it moved to the next month. So I don't know. I figured this one at least like gives me that gentle reminder of like, you didn't get the main account paid off, but we got some things paid off. So January was not a complete loss. We're trying, guys. We're trying. Okay, so the quarterly pages. Again, this was new. They don't have this in the daily planner. So I was like, what the heck am I going to use these things for? I already have the year at a glance page. So I thought, okay, like, let's keep track of the balances on these accounts. Of course, I got the focus account listed up here. I did the starting balance. I did how much I've paid towards it. And this first one, it's a little bit more trickier because this is a card that I actively use like frequently. So it does have my spending on it as well. It gives me gas points, guys. I am not going to stop using it. It gives me like free gas, guaranteed at least every 2 months. most of the time every month. So if I'm getting 30 gallons of gas for free, I'm using it. It would be stupid not to. Um, so we can see at January 1st, when I did the account balances, I had a balance of 733. I made that wonderful, gorgeous, large payment of 230 at the beginning of January, which took me down to 503. Again, I made that $50 payment because, you know, I'm supposed to every Sunday. Granted, that wasn't Sunday, but he appeared, and that took me down to 453. Once we get to the monthly, you're gonna see, like, this is where I have a large amount of bills due, and I could have done the additional 50s, but the more I thought about it, I was like, dude, you've already done 230. So like I need those funds for the bills. And what I did in the previous years, because I was so into making that extra $50 payment, I would make the $50 payment, but then I would have to rely on credit cards for like life at the end of the month. And so it was, by me paying off debt was creating more debt. But like I didn't see it that way because all I was focused on was seeing this number go down. So I just said, okay, like I wanted to, I did, but it's like, you know, we gotta eat. Okay, we gotta eat. The cat needs food, I need food. We have our meals and that at work. So it was like, okay, you know, we're just gonna take a break for the rest of the month. But again, with this being the spending card, apparently some of the money on the starting balance was my spending, which of course gets paid off throughout the week. If I put groceries or gas or anything on this card, it gets paid off through the checking account through the week. So somehow or another, I went from a balance of 453 to 211. So cool. Now I only got to worry about 211 on this card. There is going to be a week in January where I do have to stop using it. Just so that, you know, I know that the thing's down to 0. So we can start fresh. Another thing that I did is I started adding the balances. I did this on February 1st. So this is like the end balances of the month. Again, I'm checking to see how interest plays in this. That's where I'm getting curious now after doing this for so many years. Because, I mean, I'm making some banger payments. We could see, you know, 230. Some of them are 150, 180. And I just feel like these things are not going down. And, yeah, the truth is they're not. Some of these cards I have with the interest being so high, like, I can make $100 payment, and apparently, like, only, like, $60 of that, like, actually, no, $60 of it actually goes to the interest alone. It's so like in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, you're making really good payments, which you are, but it's not going towards the principal amount. Which this page kind of goes with this. It feels weird having it in the back of the book, but this is just how it happened. I was doing the Tetris thing, and this year I just decided, I was like, I'm making my own Tetris. Because I want the blocks to be more manageable. In the previous ones, like, some of the blocks were like $87 or something, some odd cents. This year, they are $10. Anytime I make $10 towards a payment to any of these accounts, I get to color in a block. And this has been like way easier. It was a pain in the butt to measure out and math it out, but and again, we can see it's still not perfect. It's $54 short, but guys, I don't see me paying that in the year. If I do, I will draw the blocks. But I don't see it happening. So this is what I was able to accomplish for the month of January, which I mean, it's actually pretty good, guys. Like, I really didn't think that I paid that much towards this, but this is where sneaky interest comes into play here. So I'm hoping that this shows on camera here. So we can see like these are the starting balances as of January 1st. This is what we had. So perks, yeah, he went down. He's 733. We're now at a 211. The city double cash was 1218, but we can see it's only at 1202. Like, whoop-de-doo, guys. He's negative $16. And let's see, I did start marking them. So, yeah, that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, $50 payment. I give them 50 bucks. I gain 16. So, yeah, that's the motivation for the extra payments right there, because I mean I could pay on that thing all year round. And I'll be lucky if I could get it down to $1,000 if I just do the minimum payment. Same thing with Merrick, he's 13. I got down to 1286, 1358, 1266. That one's, fairly decent. The balance transfer for city, he was 2644. Whoop-de-doo, guys, we're down to 2594, okay? These are the ones that scare me here. Okay, so Discover, 3961. We can see that was one of the bigger payments. I believe that's got to be about 100. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. So again, this is why I like the $10 a block. So we got a $100 payment to Discover right there. Again, we could see 3961, guys. Nothing else has went on this card. It's up. My balance is up. So, yeah, damn you, interest. And I have to laugh about it, okay? I gotta laugh about it, guys, because if I don't, I'll cry. Mercury, fortunately, did go down. He was 41.40. So I'm down $40, which is great. But again, we can see it's like 100. This was a big one. Oh, I can't even remember what I put towards, and it does make me angry when I do really look at this. Where are you at, Mercury? So out of $140, guys, I gained $40 off of my balance. So I lost $100. It's like criminal. It is. But I agreed to it. I got the card. I agreed to it. So that's what I'm keeping down here in this section, because again, like if I'm just going by the whole Detrish thing and I'm like, wow, you're making all these payments, you're paying off all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, your balance is going down. No, it's not. So this is why I've been so invested in trying to get the 0% offers. Granted, it does suck because you are literally just moving one account to another account, but it's to, take the interest away, guys. Because it's almost like impossible to get that paid off if you don't. Okay, again, the whole holiday seasonal page. I am using this for a seasonal spending tracker. I just haven't really figured out what I want to do with it yet, what I want to include on it. So, again, up until I get the time to like actually sit down and, I mean, we could see I am keeping notes, but I have not had the chance to work on that yet. And, let's see here. Do I want to take another break? Make a chapter here? I think I do, because this is going to get us through January, and then we still got to start February. So, again, guys, there's a lot packed into this one. So, let me take a quick break again, and we'll get into seeing what happened in January. Alrighty, so made it to January. Okay, so again, I'm using the Hemlock and Oak Weekly Planner for my budget planner. So there's gonna be like pages in this that really don't make sense for a budget planner, but at the same time, um, it helped me think differently about the budgeting thing. Again, it's just not all about the numbers, but we got numbers everywhere. So they start out with this overview for each of the months. Um, so it's asking like, what boundaries are you gonna set for the month? And it's like, what the heck does that even mean for um budgeting, you know? So I mean, to me, like if I had to figure it out, and again, like this is the start of the year, October, November, and December of last year, I got really into like just saying the heck with it, this ain't working, and I just went on a little spending binge. Granted, nothing as bad and drastic as the years before, but it was enough for me to be like, whoa, you know, need to put the brakes on this. My main boundary that I set for myself was that I need to reduce my spending. It definitely got a little out of control. I need to only spend indoor charge what I have in the bank. Basically, I do take advantage of the credit card offers, but at the same time, like if I can't get that balance down to zero, like if there's something for $100 I want to buy, if I have $100 in the checking account to make that payment immediately, I don't get it. That is the rule. Do I always follow the rule? No, but that's what I'm trying to like fully ingrain in my brain, so that we don't keep creating the mess that we saw back there. This planner really does focus on self-care. That seems to be like the full theme of the planner itself. So again, I'm adding it into a budget planner. And that's why I was like, okay, 3 things for the month. Like if I mainly this is again, this is me personally, but I find that I spend when I'm bored. When I'm bored, the other scary ones are if I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling upbeat. So, yeah. So it's like, okay, what are 3 activities that I can like keep myself occupied with, where it's going to reduce my spending? And again, that's oddly enough, when I'm working out, because again, you can't be. I'm a mobile spender, so. But then again, I guess this works out if you're like going to the gym too. You can't be spending money if you got like weights in your hand. You can't. I mean, unless you're yelling at Alexa to buy something, but I don't know. Like, whenever I'm focused on working out, I'm not thinking about all the stuff I can buy. I'm trying to survive the workout. Hot cocos and reads. Again, this is something that I do right before bed, so it does limit that doom scrolling before bed. And of course, that's when you find something and you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy this because it's gonna make my life better. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just gonna add one more thing that you gotta pay. And in making time for painting, that's something else that I've gotten into. Yes, it does cost money for the art supplies and that, but at the same time, I mean, some of these paintings take me over a month to paint. Um, yeah, it really does keep me entertained for like an hour each day, guys. that's that's an hour where I'm not thinking about buying anything. So mainly what I've learned with the self-care things is, yeah, they're nice. They give you a break, give you some playtime during the day, but oddly enough, they help me not spend money. So cool, you know? That's something that I've learned in January. Never would have thought that. The intentions that you have, the milestones, again, this goes back to that goal setting. And the main one for me was to get the My Perks card situated. That is the focus account for January. And I was actually a little bit angry at myself because I promised myself that this card would never carry a balance. This is literally the spend account. It is to get me the gas points so that I don't have to buy gasoline for the car. And what the heck is a balance doing on this thing? So that was basically me going on that spending binge in December, and it's like, no. No, get this thing under control, which, I mean, we could see in the quarterly pages that I mean, we're making progress, guys. We're making a lot of progress. Again, this explains like the whole habit tracking section, which something's gonna come up. I mean, we got 12 months, guys. Something's gonna come up, so I am gonna get another habit. But I've always tried the checking to make sure that I am using the cards properly. So this gives me that little monthly tracker. We can see there was 4 days. There's 4 days in January where it's like, yeah, you didn't follow the rules. This is going back to that. If you want to buy something for $100, do you have the $100 to cover it? And we could see, no, 4 days in January. I did not follow the rules. The last two are not colored in yet. Because I know I can cover them. It's just the card that I use, it's real finicky with making payments, so I have not covered the like $9 that is due on them. But I can't. I have the money in the bank, so I just don't color it in. For me, that's my friendly reminder of like, hey, jackass, get back in here and make that $9 payment. But they'll be colored in by tomorrow when I can actually make a payment when it allows me. It irritates me, it does. Okay, so then I had like this blank page, and I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do with this blank page? And this has turned out to be one of my favorite pages in the budget planner. It's weird, because it's like, this is apparently something that I needed that I didn't know that I needed. So I started off with, which most of you probably have this too, but you always have that like running list in your mind of like, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. Some of the things are things that we need to buy. As we could see, now granted I didn't need the washer, but the dryer went down first week, of course. And in my mind I was like, oh my god, we need to get a washer and dryer set. And it's like, no you don't, you just need to replace the damn dryer, like that's all I need. But there was like a good solid 3-4 days of where my mind was set that I needed a washer and dryer set. But I just calmly, coolly wrote it down and said, okay, like, let's work on this. Do we actually need this? Can I repair the dryer? Which in a way I can. I'm still actually thinking that I still have it. I gotta get it quoted to see how much it would cost to repair it, but I mean, if I can repair that dryer, guys, and that thing lasted for 15 years, so, you know, I'm just doing the math for me. The one that I got, if it lasts another 15 years, that gets me to 55, and then if I get this other one repaired, that'll get me to, like, 70, so I might not need a dryer until I'm 70 years old. So, I'm calculating it out. Like, if I could get this thing replaced, or not replaced, but repaired for under $100, yeah, that might be financially worth it in the long run. I don't know. That's like how I think. But I started making like a little list of all the weird things that enter my mind of like, oh, you need this. We could see HP photo paper. Again, first week of the year, I was like, oh my god, you need to buy that. I still haven't bought it, guys. I still have not needed it. So that would have been like $50 I would have spent, and apparently I don't need it yet. The stash I have is doing quite well. The collagen I did have to purchase. Again, the washer and dryer, I didn't need the washer, but I got the dryer. A capsule closet. A capsule closet all of a sudden started coming up in my feed, and again started making me think like, yeah, you need that. And it's like, no, No, let's work with what we got in our closet, because again, I still want to clean that out and get rid of all the stuff that I don't need. So I have not purchased a capsule closet, and my wallet thanks me every day for that. Liquid salt, this is for outside snow and ice removal, that type of stuff. I did end up needing that. Thank you, January. And of course, the V-Day Decker. Did I need it? No. Does it bring a smile to my face? Yes. Okay, so I added in the large orders. Again, I just kept the whole $10 a block theme going. And this has actually really helped me because, again, it visualizes what we're looking at here. So with this, yeah, they're listed and it's shown like, yeah, I owe 80 on the cabinet. I still have 267 for household. I got 155 for storage. Apparently, like, the list and the numbers does nothing to me. Because I could look at this and go, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. But if I make, like, a little block tracker for it, and I go, oh, my God. So, this actually, I don't know. And I mean, granted, guys, it's not pretty. It's literally me with a pen and a mild liner. It's nothing, like, super extensive. It's just, I don't know. This worked. It let me visually see how much I owed on each of these stupid things that I had to buy at the moment. And I mean, I did pretty good. They do run off into the review area, but again, we can see that, you know, I got most of them. Most of them are paid off, but again, another way that my brain looks at this is like, yeah, cool, we got these things paid off, but that's a lot of money, guys. That's when you start adding up all those little blocks, those are blocks that could be blocks back here in the main, you know, detritus, whatever you want to call it, that pay off. So yeah, we do need money for life because things are going to happen. I am going to need liquid salt for the freaking ice storm that we had. But at the same time, that was 6 blocks that I could have filled in back here. You know, that's 10 blocks that could have been on the debt payoff thing. I mean, we don't even want to talk about that. So, yeah, there are times of where I'm like, man, like, I feel like I'm making all these payments, and it's like, why isn't the debt going down? This was, like, I don't know, this was the visual reminder that I needed of, like, yeah, you are making payments, but these payments are going towards all of the stupid things on the store cards, and it really does make this make sense now, because the more I keep balances on these cards, the more it's going to take away funds from paying down the actual debt. It's right there. I mean, you can't deny it once you see it. And for some reason, that was something that took me a very long time to learn. It shouldn't have, but it did. It's humbling. But I feel we're on the right track now with this setup. Another thing that I added in was the online orders. Again, I know I'm not going to stop ordering stuff online. I think it's a part of who I am now. But it was kind of nice because I guess, like, with being an emotional spender, I do get like a little dopamine rush when I am shopping online. And this gave me a place to, you know, write down, like, where did I make the purchase? What did I purchase? It does have a nice little when the deliveries due section, too, because it lets me know who actually sends and delivers stuff when they promise it. and and another thing is too is because I think a lot of the times I would like double order because I would forget that I ordered. So that was a nice way of keeping track of all of those on here. And again, guys, this is just like in one page layout. There is a lot of info on one page. Okay, so we're getting into the monthly area, I keep this one as simple as possible. This is literally just where I mark down the bills that are due, which for this month they're highlighted in gray. The savings, so that's the IRA and then my $5 a day savings goal. I put those in yellow. The store cards and the credit cards I did separate for this year. Just because the credit cards themselves are what the main focus is. So those are in red. Credit cards mean danger. I don't want to add anything to those. The store cards I know I'm going to use, but again, it's if I'm going to be using them, I need to be able to pay those off before the interest hits on them. So I put those in that smoky blue. And of course the loans, they're in a wonderful dark green for this month. But the main thing that I enjoy about this type of layout here by keeping the bills on a monthly layout is I can see my paydays. And again, this is really helpful if you're somebody who gets paid bi-weekly. Because the whole monthly, let me see if I can find it, still laying around. I tried to use one of these monthly budget things, and first off, like we could see, I have way more bills than what's gonna fit on this. Yeah, but I do, and I live with it, guys. And it has went down. It has, which I know probably this horrifies some of you, but, yeah, we have drastically reduced the amount of accounts that I have. So, yeah, that's saying a lot. But, like, I still have more accounts than what's on this, and the whole planning monthly thing is nice. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't work for me. I was always it didn't work. And then the numbers didn't match, and then I would get mad and frustrated, and then I would say, screw budgeting, who doesn't need to do it, you know? And, yeah, so that's when I started doing this type of layout, and getting back to the whole bi-weekly thing here. So what occurs for me is, so we have the first 9 days of January. If I was just using what I was making in January, which would be these two amounts here, the money that I get on the 10th it's absolutely jack shit for like days 1 through 9, because I need the money that I got back in December to cover these. So the way that I do the budgeting now is it's like, okay, I get paid on the 10th, so everything from the 10th to the 23rd has to be covered by this. Can I cover all of these things with this pay? And now I'm just focusing on those 14 days instead of 30 some days. I don't know. It's just that has made the biggest impact for me personally in my budgeting is by doing the whole monthly layout, seeing where everybody fits in, and then that's how I budget everything else. I am using the YNAB, the YNAB app, YNAB system. I don't know, the You Need a Budget system. All of my purchases, all of my bills goes onto the whole YNAB thing, which has been really great. But at the same time, I still need the paper copy so that I can, again, visually see, like, when are these things due, who needs covered for this pay, and then I can proceed again and say, like, okay, you have X amount of dollars for groceries. If Bert has, like, a vet appointment, like, I need to put the money in for that, because, of course, it's not going to be on here. But, again, you got to have all the bills paid. And you could see we got a lot, guys. So, yeah, just, you know, going back through the weeklies, this is how the weeklies have been turning out. I'm doing, all the transactions. Again, I don't need to know the starting balance and the ending balance of each day. YNAB does that for me now. When I was doing the daily, I did need it. But like, I don't need to keep track of any of that in here anymore. If you do, And then you would just simply put like your top running balance up here and maybe the ending balance down here. You pretty much don't need to keep, because, you know, the ending balance here would be the starting balance, so I guess one or the other, depending on what works for you. Yeah, that's. I mainly just keep track of, like, hey, did you do the bills for the day? And then, you know, we could see this was a big shopping day. I was tired. But we can see we had an anxious day before, and then I'm tired. And again, that's really what does cause a lot of my spending. Again, guys, I'm sorry for my voice. I am going through a cold, but I do keep track of the daily mood at the top of the page as well. We can see our main focus was the balance transfer, which I did end up getting Discover. He was the one I focused on because that's the one where I was losing the most money on with the interest. But we got that sucker put on a 0% offer. It just took forever for the account to open up and let me. We can see here I got sick. So this week not the best. But you know, I pretty much kept it you know, going. I keep track of the 3 me times that I do. So again, there's a lot put on these pages, and guys, we could see like this is where I keep track of like how many bills you got due each week. And it starts off so nicely. It's like, yeah, you know, that's doable. Okay, all right, you know, that's doable. We could do that. And then it just turns into this. The end of the month just turns into a slaughter. And yeah, so that's why there wasn't the extra payment made on the accounts, because it's we gotta pay these. We gotta get all of this covered. And I did force myself, like, all unpaid transactions for the month of January, they had to be covered by the 31st, which I did. I got them. I got all of those covered. So that's good. You know, we did good. We can see we made it to this week here. So things are looking good, guys. You know, it's looking good. It looks messy, but you know, it is what it is. I created the mess. Now we got to try to figure out how to clean it up. And we finally made it to the January review. Again, I've never had to actually sit down and like review the month, so this was something new yesterday, and that's why I was like, okay, what the heck am I gonna do with this? So, it's like write down 3 memorable moments from this month, and it's like, okay, if I was just generally doing the month, it's like, okay, I could think of 3 things, but it's like budget-wise, financial-wise, what were 3 memorable moments? Which we could see January was a mess. But, you know, like, going back through, I was like, okay, you know what, we did have a couple wins. Because I was able to cover that dryer with cash, and I used a snow day, so I didn't even have to, like, well, granted, I did take off work, but, like, I didn't feel guilty about it. It wasn't like, oh, you gotta take off work because, you know, you need to replace the dryer. It was like, no, you're already off work because it's a snow day, and I'm getting paid, and now I get to go get a dryer, and I didn't even have to put it on a credit card. I was able to use my emergency savings. So that is something that I wouldn't have been able to do 5 years ago. So that was kind of nice, and it was fun. Deciding to pay off the scrubber to save on paying interest, which originally when I did make this purchase, I convinced myself, I was like, okay, you know, if I just do 100 for the next 3 months, like, you know, I could get this thing paid off, no big deal. Until I saw that it had 31% interest, and I was like, yeah, no. No. Defeats getting the thing on sale. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna take again my savings. So it didn't come out of the checking, but I was like, you know what, savings, like I may get like $9 interest on you if you stay in there for 3 months. That is definitely not as much as what I would have got charged on interest for keeping that balance. So Mr. Scrubber got paid, and that's where you live and learn, and we don't do that again. Um, uh, and the other one was having all of January's expenses paid and covered, so no extra debt for January. So that's nice. Those are 3 wins that I will take for the month of January. They, whew. They give you a space where you get to reflect on like what gave you energy for the month, what drained you, and again, we're speaking in budget terms here, and it's like, oh God, like how does this work? And I mean, the pluses were, again, I replaced the dryer for less. It was 50% than what I was going to pay if I went to the store. And I used cash, so I saved on interest and I got it for 50% off. That's a win. I paid off the scrubber, so no more worry, no more guilt, no more interest. I was able to get a 0% balance transfer for Discover, so hopefully the payments I make are actually going to be worth it now. I did have a good doctor's visit, and it was only a $25 copay, so the insurance I picked for this year is actually good. So to me, that's a win. What do we got? I got a $100 gift card from Passion Planner, so that was fun. I was not expecting that. I used my Amazon freebies for the little things. So again, like something that's like $10, $20 if you're getting it once a week, that's like $50 each month. So I got all of those for free because I used my points. Again, guys, credit cards aren't evil. It's just you gotta use them correctly. So, they gave me $50. And of course, paying off the mini dumpster with my stash funds, that's the $50 I take out of each pay. So he got paid off too. And now I'm getting to enjoy that without looking at it going, I need to pay you off. He's paid. He's done. Okay, the things that drained me. This was a list that I didn't like to make. I like to focus on the good things, but I guess I do need to really think about like what drains my energy so that maybe I can try to eliminate some of these things or figure out a better way of reacting to them, okay? Because some of these things can't be removed. So what started off in the beginning of the month was that things, they just kept breaking down. The car was breaking down. The dryer was breaking down. I feel like there was more things breaking down or just not working as they should. And it just, that does kind of like, it demotivates you because you're starting and you're saying like, oh yeah, we're going to do good things this year. And then everything around you is just like, watch what I could do. It was like those Mayhem commercials there for a while. But again, my savings accounts, saved me. So that was nice. I started getting headaches, like major headaches, which I normally don't get. So that was a downer. And then, of course, the next week, I got the explanation as to why I'm getting headaches. And, yeah, my freaking tooth broke in my sleep. So I'm pretty sure that's what was causing the headaches. And again, that's like, God, now I gotta pay for the dentist. I do not want to go to the dentist, guys, but I got to because this tooth hurts. Probably why I've had this freaking cold and I can't get rid of it either. But I had to wait because they're booked. So that's February fun right there. Then we got the joy of the snowstorms and the freezing temperatures. That made me quite moody. And then, of course, I got the sickies. And, yeah, so I'm stuck inside. I feel like crap. For an emotional spender, that means I want to get online and spend, spend, spend. So, again, the three things to keep me preoccupied. Had to use those a lot because I did want to get on and spend to get that little dopamine boost. So I had to fight that off. Um, then we had the build up of the work drama. And this month was a little bit frustrating at work, but we made it through. And again, I had very little me time. So, again, when I am trying to do those 3 me time activities, I'm snowed in with Ray. He is also my coworker. So, like, yeah. It's like the perfect storm with the perfect storm outside, you know? I'm trying to get away and forget about the stupid stuff that happened at work, but then I got him there complaining, and I'm just my little Picasso and just painting away and trying to mentally escape. So, like I said, the things that drain my energy, I would like to make some of these things go away, like my tooth, you know, that's going to the dentist and having them fix it, so I can, you know, hopefully get that taken care of next month. But at the same time, I can't make Ray go away. He is here. He is my coworker, and the only thing I can do is try to figure out a way to mentally escape. Okay, the lessons, the thoughts, the growth moments for the month. Um, my main one was the savings accounts. Because again, this is something that I just started. Mainly 3 years ago, but I attempted 5 years ago. So they are finally starting to build up now to where they are actually doing something. I'm starting to reap the rewards of the savings accounts, guys. It's nice. Mainly with the dryer, because again, if I would have went to Lowe's, it was $700. I only paid $350. And it would have been on the Lowe's card. Granted, they do have the 0% interest, but again, with the whole hot water tank, I believe that was last year, maybe the year before. I'm not quite sure. They run together now, but again, that would have been a payment each month that would have took away from the Focus account. So again, the savings really saved me. And there are a lot of times that I myself wonder, I know I get asked frequently, if you have like $1,000 to $2 or $1,000 to $2,000 in your savings account, why aren't you putting those on your debts? And it's because of moments like this. Because to me, I'd rather have the savings, and once they do get to a certain amount, you do start getting some really nice interest on those. And like, I don't know, I'd rather know mentally that I can pay this off with cash, get it taken care of, and I don't add to the debt. Now, there are some times that the cards do reach a certain amount, and like we saw with the scrubber there, yeah, I could have continued just paying that per month and then just suck up the interest. But at the same time, like, it was where I had the funds, I can pay it off completely, and then that way I don't got to worry about the interest. So, where I'm going to make the interest from keeping it in savings for 3 months versus what I'm going to spend in 3 months on interest, that's when I'll start weighing the two there. So, there are some times of where I will use the savings to cover a debt. But normally not. What is it? The other lesson I had was being snowed in with Ray. Which some of the days did suck. They did. But I just kept reminding myself, like, I had the day off from work. I didn't have to go to work. That gave me 8 hours to relax. That gave me 8 hours to spend time with him, even though he was moody. And I got more time with Bert. So, you know, those are good things. And again, the main lesson probably from being snowed in with Ray was the work drama. The work drama I like to keep at work. I'm not getting paid to think about it. But I live with my coworker. he had a very bad month. He had a very bad month at work, and I got to hear about it every night. Every night we come home from work, I got to hear about it, and it's like, buddies, we're at home. Like, let's think about home things. But, you know, he needed a vent. So I let him vent, and that's, again, the paintings. I spend a lot of time on paintings, guys. Okay, and again, we've already discussed that the large order trackers, they continued into the back of the page. I would like to try to keep these just on that front page, but, you know, I had to track them. And my definition of large order changed from the month. Before, I was just keeping, like, if it's $100 more, I was going to track it, but then it got a little scary with these two. Because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay this off at the end of the month. These two I was able to. The jeans from Maurice's I was not. So he has a little tracker. Again, it's a friendly reminder of like, hey dude, you need to pay this shit off. And again, finally made it to the reflection here. So we got like the emotional part of it. Let's do the actual budgeting reflection. And again, this comes from the YNAB app, which let me see if I could bring up for you so that you could see what I'm seeing, if I can remember how to access it. I am not the most tech savvy there is, but let me make sure that this is on frame. So what they do is, like, again, you have like the little green bars and it shows that you're doing good. Yellow means I need to put in the monies, but they have this wonderful area called reflection down here. And I go to the spending breakdown, and since I enter everything in, I guess that's the most important part for this. If you enter everything in, they give you a breakdown for each of the months. And this is where the numbers of this came from. And we can see, which I would have had no idea, guys, but I spent $3,477. I really, in my mind, I don't think I spend that much, but apparently in January I did. My top categories, I'm just going with the top 5 here, was home, decor, and care, and I was like, really? That is where you spent the most money? But again, you know, I'm surprised, but it does make sense. Because, you know, we had to get the dryer, that was $350. I paid off the mini dumpster, that was $112. And I am still trying to renovate the bathroom, so I had to get paint for the bathroom, that's $50. Granted, I know that's not the whole $593, but, you know, those are big numbers. Those are... So it's like, yeah, okay, after seeing that, yeah, I can see home decor and care is 17% of what I spent. If you would have just asked me, I would have said, no, there's no way, but it is. So thank you, YNAB, for bringing that to my attention. The next thing would have been Nicole's carpet scrubber. To me, I bought it back in December, so in my mind, it's like, oh, that's done and over with. No, because I paid it off in January. So that's my next biggest spending category. So the home got a lot of money this month. And then, of course, rent. I would think that rent would be like my top one. Apparently it is versus all of this other stuff. But, yeah, like I'm spending like twice as much on the home as I am for an actual bill. That probably need to rein that back in. And, of course, nicotine. Sorry, guys. I need it. Compared to what I go through in a month, I need it. It saves lives, just not mine. So, yeah, of course we had that, and that is actually very high for me. Normally it's around 100, no more than 150, so we did spend a little bit more. And apparently miscellaneous stuff that I didn't budget for, which again, I don't like to see on this top 5 here, but those added up as well. So, in one way, like, again, I don't like seeing these categories as being the top spending, but at the same time, it kind of validates how I feel about how January went, because January just felt like a cluster mess of all this random stuff going on, and it's yeah. So I mean the numbers, where I'm actually getting to see the numbers now, um, it makes sense now. So like in one way, yeah, I could beat myself up and say, oh, you only made so many payments, like you could have did better, you know, and in one way I feel like I let myself down, but then at the same time, like, I'm looking at all of this and it's like, no wonder why. This is why I can't make those payments. I am doing it to myself. So I don't know. That's the system that I got going into February. That's how I ended January. I think I'm going to save all the February stuff for the next video, because again, I know that this one probably ran really long because we had a whole bunch of stuff to cover for January. But yeah, guys, I would say that this new setup that I have is working. It's bringing a lot of what would be behind the scenes for me. It's bringing it full in frontal onto my attention, and I'm kind of really excited to see how this is going to progress in the following months. Hopefully I get better and start doing um, things that are more beneficial to my finances. And again, guys, I think this is a great place to close out for this one. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it, and all of the comments and that. And if you want to see more of the budget reviews, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button.